Quick disclaimer before this video begins. Somewhere along the way of exporting this movie onto, well, the device I'm uploading the movie onto YouTube from, a file was lost. So I'm not sure if this video is going to start from the beginning or not, but I'm also positive that I have to release a video today, and this is the video I decided on. Although it might not start from the beginning, I hope that along the way the story begins to make sense and that the files match up. If they don't and this video is a complete fail, it happens, and, well, there was nothing I could do about that. I hope you guys all enjoyed today's video, or rather will enjoy it, as I did spend quite a lot of time on it. With that being said, this is 𝙎𝙈𝙊𝙃𝙃, and past Rami can now take up the helm of the video. Thank you for watching.
But I suppose that's a story for another day, and thus Naruto would fall asleep. Snoring as he would, Kakashi would knock on the door. He had been healed by Tsunade and wanted to thank Naruto. It had seemed that this was the second time he was thanking Naruto and not the other way around. Naruto would laugh. "Don't flatter me, Kakashi, but I do have a question. Come in now." Now, this is where we have a bit of a, I guess, a new plot point. This is not the same apartment that Naruto had in the canon. Naruto is doing much more well for himself as well, as far as like money goes and that kind of thing. So he did improve the quality of his life, and thus he decided to spend a little bit more on his apartment. Now, the Hokage does usually pay the bill for his apartment, and he still does pay the bill that he used to pay, but he just instead gives that amount of money that he paid to keep a roof over Naruto's head and pays it directly to Naruto. The other money to pay for the rent for this apartment comes from Naruto himself and all the missions that he does and did during the many years that he's been a ninja. And thus, Naruto has a much better apartment on the level of even, say, the Hokage's house. Now, with that being said, Naruto would invite Kakashi in, telling him to sit on his couch. With that, he would lay out a few things. Naruto would basically explain what he had explained to Hiruzen to Kakashi, and then he would say, "And thus it has been leading me on to believe that you have the Mangekyo Sharingan. Either that or you have the potential to unlock it. So I'll ask you a question. If you don't want me telling Lord Third this, then that's completely fine. But where and when did you get that Sharingan of yours?" I feel like you... Kakashi didn't know what to say. I feel like you... I feel like maybe... Fine. I'll tell you. But only because you're my sensei's son. What? Your sensei? So my father was your sensei? Or is? I don't get it. No, I should have said was. He has long been gone now. How long has he been dead? 12 years. I see. Who was my father? His name was Minato Namikaze, the 4th Hokage of the Hidden Leaf Village. Minato, huh? They say he was a great man. Strong, too. I think they had to kill... No. It was kill on sight or leave on sight. I can't remember, but I read somewhere that many ninja were afraid of him, if not all, in the 3rd Great Ninja War. Right? Yeah. That's also when Rin Nohara and Obito Uchiha died. The comrades you mentioned. Yes, that is true. Now, Hiruzen said that you killed Rin with your own hands. What exactly happened? I didn't mean to kill her. We were surrounded by Anbu, and I was going to kill them, but she jumped in the way. It had seemed that somebody had implanted the 3 tails in her. What the hell? They seriously put a hole in... What? So they, in a way, artificially made a Jinchuriki. Well, no, Kakashi, that would technically be a real Jinchuriki, but... What are you getting at? And I guess she wanted me to kill her because she would have destroyed the Leaf Village. I see. So she wasn't strong enough to contain the tailed beast, and she knew that she was going to, yes, unleash its power. Makes sense. So when you decided that you wanted to kill the Anbu and not her because, well, she was your comrade, she jumped in the way. I can understand that. Now what about Obito? He was crushed by a boulder, but half of his body was uncrushed, and thus he gave me his eye. The one that wasn't crushed. I see. I believe it was his right eye. Makes sense. So that's how you got your Sharingan? Yeah. Which came first, Rin's death or Obito's? Obito's. I believe you have the Mangekyo Sharingan then. What? How? Why? I'm not clear on the logistics here either, but Sakumo, your father, Sakumo Hatoge, he died before you had the Sharingan, right? Yes, that's true. Yeah, I'm certain. You have the Mangekyo Sharingan, Kakashi. What? Are you... What? How? Why do you think that? I can sense it. I'm sure of it. Here, look at this. These are 3 Tomoe Sharingan. What? How do you have those Sharingan? You see these 2 eyes? Now, I've opened this jar before. Why? Did you implant it in your own eye once? Well, no. I fooled the Hokage. What? Why would you even tell me this? I fooled him by showing him that I had 1 3 Tomoe and that's it. No. As you can clearly see, that is not a 3 Tomoe. And if you know enough about the clan, you know that when a Mangekyo Sharingan is unlocked, you have multiple patterns. This is unique from any of the other patterns that aren't Mangekyo. And this, my friend, Kakashi, this is clearly a Mangekyo, with the other being a 3 Tomoe. I didn't want to show him it, just in case. The same energy that I feel emanating from your eye is that of the Mangekyo in here. Ah, I see. And your friend Obito, I doubt that he's dead. What? Really? Yes. Either that, or the other eye he had has to be gone by now. They would never let him chill. Keep his eyes on the battlefield. Of course, it's very presumptuous for me to say this, but if I were the gander, he's probably one of the top 20 strongest shinobi in this world and is currently living. Though that is an outlandish theory of mine, I do believe this theory to be true. I see. Naruto, you're so strange. As are you. Now, this other Sharingan, I believe it belongs to the same person. And I believe it has the potential to become a Mangekyo. So what are you saying? I'm saying that I believe I've sensed the same energy from it before. Which leads me to believe that the Sharingan, when kept in a jar or out of its host body, can act on its own. This is simply a theory about the Sharingan itself. But this eye, I've seen it transform into the Mangekyo before, without anybody having it. I see. Well, actually, what if that is its own unique pattern, being a 3 Tomoe? I guess it's just also a hypothesis. Yeah, probably. Well, either way, how do you think that you can unlock the Mangekyo again? I don't know. Kakashi would fully take off his mask and headband, revealing to Naruto what he truly looks like, as Naruto's jaw would drop, only for a second. Kakashi Hatake without his famed mask. Cool. Yeah, cool. Look, my eye. Recently, it's been feeling really weird. Is that what you're gonna say? Yeah. It's probably because you've been getting into so many life or death situations, or because you came in contact with another Mangekyo Sharingan. The sensation in my eye. Is this the Mangekyo? Kakashi, don't move. Your eye, it's... What is it doing? It's spinning. It's becoming the Mangekyo. Kakashi's eye would become the Mangekyo, and for those who don't remember, Kakashi does have the Mangekyo. He did have it. He kind of forgot he had it, and now it's like reactivating in his body. What the? This power, I feel so powerful. This is probably how Madara and Izuna Uchiha felt when they first unlocked it. Yeah, probably. I feel so strong. I feel so powerful. Well, cool. Now we know that you have the Mangekyo, but I asked something of you. Naruto would get on one knee. Teach me, Kakashi. Teach you? This Sharingan. I want it. No, I want them. And if anyone can teach me how to use them, it's you. You also have many jutsu that I want to learn. I'm certain I can learn them. I need to get stronger. I see. What's your end goal? To become the Hokage of this village. To serve it, protect it. Ensure that everyone here has a great future. That's my goal. Really? All for this village? Yes, really. All for this village. Well, that's a great ambition, Naruto. And I truly do believe that you can do it. Well, thank you. So will you train me, Kakashi? Yes, I will train you, Naruto. Calm down. Thank you. Meet me here. Kakashi would quickly find a piece of paper in Naruto's home, writing down a place where they could meet to train. This is where Naruto and Kakashi would train. Naruto would then go about his day as usual, as he would then fall asleep, waking up the next day and going to the place at 12 p.m. Naruto would then leave the Hokage office as he would walk into the streets of the Leaf Village. He would then think, should I go and train? But then he remembered everything he did was train. For the past 2 years, he had been studying and training. All the years before that, he had been training. It felt as if it was an endless cycle. Get stronger, defeat people, save your friends. Save the people you care about. But who did he care about? He had many friends in the Leaf Village, and he knew that he was going to be able to see them soon because they just graduated the academy. But when? He then remembered Smoker. Smoker gave him his Genkai. And so Naruto would practice with the Smoke release Genkai. Naruto had, in the short span that he had been training, already mastered everything that Smoker had been able to do. And with the progress Naruto was on, he was very well on the track to A, create more jutsu for both the clan and the release, B, master it beyond anybody else, and C, well, maybe even evolve the Genkai, if that makes sense. Be able to make it do more things, so to speak. We switch back to close to the Land of Waves, and approximately 6 hours before this current time. At this point, Smoker's laying on the ground. smiling. Orochimaru had been in the area and picked up Smoker's dead body. I don't know if you guys know where I'm going with this, but Smoker is not fully dead. At least so it seems. As Orochimaru has taken his body and has basically decided to experiment on it and maybe even revive Smoker. With that, Naruto would grit his teeth, walking away from Zabuza. He would then look back at Zabuza and would then smile, taking off his mask and saying, "Thank you for not putting up a fight. Zabuza, the demon of the mist." Naruto would then break through Haku's ice mirrors. Haku was surprised. Nobody had ever done this. Unbeknownst to Naruto, he could have just walked in, but yeah. Anyway, Naruto would then grab Sakura, Smoker, and Sasuke. Haku couldn't let this happen, as he would basically do whatever he could to kill them, throwing as many needles as he could. Naruto would block most of these with his actual body, but there was a lot. Haku threw about 30 at least. Naruto was able to block 19. But the 11 rest hit Smoker, causing Smoker to die. Naruto would look down on Smoker's body as Smoker would fall to the ground. Naruto would then look up at Haku as the chakra emanating off of Naruto would cause his mask to shatter. Naruto would then jump into the air, grabbing Haku and slamming him through his own mirrors. "Do you know what you've done, Haku? How do you know my name? You're mercenaries, are you not? They say that you're top members in the bingo books. Well, at least you killed people in the bingo books. And you killed a lot of them. Of course I know who you are. Well, what is it to you? He's just a boy I killed. Who even are you?" "Who am I? I'm Naruto Uzumaki. And you?" "I'm Haku Yuki. Now get the hell off of me. You think I'm gonna let go? After you just killed a genin of the Leaf Village, somebody who had a future ahead of them? Smoker even had a powerful 𝘖𝙎𝙃. Even I could tell you that. I will say he was very troublesome. His smoke was even able to counter some of my needles. I suppose it works in a similar fashion to Jello. He can't be hit, but he can also grab the attack and send it back at you. I didn't ask for an explanation on his 𝘖𝙎𝙃. Say sorry. Huh? Say sorry for taking the innocent life of a boy. Do I need to repeat myself? I'm not going to be saying sorry. Haku would then grab 3 needles from his side as he would stab them into Naruto. Naruto would grit his teeth, as his body was almost under full paralysis. Haku would then realize that all of those needles didn't just go past Naruto. He didn't even dodge them. He actually took them full force. And thus, he was kind of wondering when Naruto was going to bend over and die. So, Haku was surprised. Naruto would then grab Haku's mask off of his face and throw it to the side. I want you to apologize, Haku. I want you to apologize now. Why would I apologize? Because I asked, Naruto would say, as Haku would punch his fist into Naruto. This would knock Naruto out, as he was already under a almost full paralysis. Naruto would now speak to the Nine Tails, asking for his help. The Nine Tails would begrudgingly agree, giving his help to Naruto. And thus, all of the needles that were within Naruto would fly out in various directions. None of them would hit anybody, but they would fly out of Naruto's body. Naruto would then give Haku one clean hit, which would immobilize him. This is when Naruto would speak to the dying Smoker. Smoker would then explain stuff about his clan. He would say, the Smoke clan is a very powerful clan. They have members who can even rival Kage in some era. And my father once told me one special secret. He said that if I were ever to die, I should give the 𝙎𝙈𝙊𝙃𝙃 to someone worthy. You can't give 𝙎𝙈𝙃𝙃. No. You can with the smoke release one. What? You make no sense. I know I'm dying. You didn't have to tell me that. My muscles, they're so weak. My body, I feel like a skeleton already. But I watched you fight. I watched you. And I think you're worthy. Me? Worthy? Are you kidding me? You're just what? An amazing man. Someone so cool and powerful that they can beat someone like that with one hit? No, I'm just your average Chunin. You're not, though. I can tell. You're special. Now, before I die out, I need to give you this 𝙎𝙈𝙃𝙃. And I hope that you accept. A flashing light would hit Naruto's eyes as Naruto would pass out. Naruto would then wake up as he looked around, and Smoker, well, his eyes were closed. He had a smile on his face, and Sasuke and Sakura, as well as Haku, all of their bodies lied beside him. Naruto would grab the two of them, that being Sasuke and Sakura, as he would look down on Haku, saying only a few words. If you can hear me, I won't kill you. I'm not in the mood for death today. I don't want any more bloodshed. But mess with the Leaf Village ever again, and we will have a problem. You understand? Haku would muster up the voice to speak. Yeah, I get it. Good. If we meet again, I won't hold a grudge on you. But if you do want to fight, I will kill you. That was bold of you, Naruto Uzumaki. It seems you know of my name as well. Maybe if we didn't meet like this, we would have been friends, Haku. Haku Yuki. Maybe Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto would then leave as he would grab Kakashi as well. They would then arrive back at the Leaf Village without even stopping at the Land of Waves. Though Naruto would send a clone there. This clone would basically talk to Tazuna and would basically scold Tazuna and tell him that due to him and, well, him misidentifying the rank of the mission, it resulted in the death of Smoker. Smoker of the Smoke Clan. Naruto, of course, also had his clone bring Smoker's dead body back to the Leaf Village. But it wasn't there. Naruto was perplexed. At least, rather, his clone was. And so was he when he heard the news. Is that a special trait of the Smoke Clan? That they kind of just disappear back into, I suppose, smoke when they die? Because that would make sense to Naruto. It was a feasible guess or estimate, whatever you want to call it, right? Hypothesis. But he was still perplexed, and he felt bad that he wasn't able to get Smoker's body originally. With that, he would give the status report to the Hokage, the third Hokage, Hiruzen Sarutobi, as Hiruzen would then speak to Naruto in private. What is this? Now 2 times where 𝘾𝙍𝙄𝙈𝙃 was defeated in battle and you were still able to complete the mission? Kakashi's somebody who could be a fill-in Hokage for me if I were too sick to do this job anymore. What you're able to do is missions that he's... I don't want you to continue, Hiruzen. I find it very disrespectful to Kakashi. The first time he was hit with a genjutsu that only I could escape from, due to me being the holder of the 9 tails. And the second time, Kakashi was protecting his students. So yes, maybe it's plausible to say that I am above him in skill. Maybe even power, if that's what you want to say. But do not doubt his skill. Do not upskill mine. I know just how powerful I am, and he knows just how powerful he is. I noticed something, though. His Sharingan. I've seen other Sharingan before. You see, even today, Sasuke, his Sharingan manifested into the two Tomoe. But when I sensed the chakra coming off of his eye, even in his rageful state, I couldn't sense the same amount of power I sensed in Kakashi's eye. You see, I've been doing a lot of research up on the Uchiha clan as of lately. As of lately, he means 2 years, but Hiruzen doesn't even know that. And I know enough to know that there are 4 stages, well, technically speaking 5 stages, of the Sharingan. Though, there are levels above that. Would you like me to explain, Hiruzen? Sure, go on, Naruto. First, there is the base Sharingan. It is known as the 1 Tomoe. This is simple. It's not too special, but it does the job. It is a dojutsu. Then there is the 2 Tomoe. It heightens the abilities of that. Then there is the 3 Tomoe. With the 3 Tomoe, all abilities are heightened. You can also, well, copy jutsu, well, the hand sides at least for that jutsu. And if you have the chakra nature, you can actually do them, predict some movements, etc. I'm sure you're familiar with the Sharingan. Then there's the Mangekyo. Each individual Uchiha has the potential to unlock the Mangekyo, but it is very hard. You must go through a traumatic event. Though, once unlocked, the Mangekyo gives you 2 abilities, if you have 2 eyes. Then there is the Eternal Mangekyo. They say that Madara Uchiha stole the eyes of his brother Izunu Uchiha on his deathbed to allow him to awaken these eyes. They say that if you implant the eyes of another Mangekyo user, as long as they are somewhat closely related to you, then you will unlock the Eternal Mangekyo. Those are the 5 levels of the Sharingan. The problem with the Mangekyo is overuse of it makes you blind. The Eternal Mangekyo removes that. I suppose you could call it a little bit of a debuff. Or downside. Now, I explained how there are more levels. That is the Rinnegan. The Rinnegan is a level higher than the Eternal Mangekyo. It gives you 6 unique abilities as far as I'm concerned. That's what they say in the books, at least. You remember that time, a year ago, Hiruzen, where you sent me to the Rain Village? They had a book there on the Rinnegan. That's where I learned of this. You see, Naruto had been on many missions in those 2 years where he was learning about the Uchiha clan. And it wasn't as if missions just stopped, so he was still going places. They say that it is the eye of the Sage of Six Paths. But of course, that's just a myth. Or so they say. I believe it to be true. They say to unlock the Mangekyo, if you are an Uchiha, you need the blood/DNA of a Senju. I suppose being born half Senju, half Uchiha would also work to unlock this eye. Even so, in this book that I read, they said that it could take upwards of 1, 5, 10, 20, and even 30 years just to unlock this eye, even with the DNA of a Senju and Uchiha. There is then the Rene Sharingan. This is even more outlandish, and it's more of a theory. But it's a Rinnegan with Tomoe. I do believe it to be true. They say that it can release an unexplainable genjutsu, known as the Infinite Tsukiyomi. This jutsu can even sculpt reality. Basically, all that see it, or witness it, I suppose, fall under the genjutsu. And they live out their fantasies. They live out their perfect life. Now, Kakashi. Well, remember that ninja I met? 𝙎𝙈𝙊𝙃𝙃. You mean the one from the mist? Yes. Well, the rogue ninja from the mist. He had a Sharingan in his possession. He told me that he had been saving it ever since the Second Ninja War. Why are you only telling me this now? This would have been vital information, Naruto. Well, there was no reason for me to tell you this until I had a viable theory for it. Anyway. Well, I sensed the chakra from that eye, too. And I even had alone time with it. As you recall, he gave it to me. Yeah, I was going to ask, where did you put that Sharingan? It's so much secret. It's irrelevant for you to know, Lord Hokage. You're becoming very defiant. In a alright way. But whatever. Anyway, go on. Well, the aura emanating from his eyes, even when not enraged and just subtle, had a much stronger presence, and thus I believe that Kakashi Hatake either has the potential or already does have the Mangekyo Sharingan. So it begs me to ask the question. Yes, go on. Do you know of any ninja report where Kakashi may have lost someone special to him? Oh, this is Kakashi Hatake we're talking about. He has lost many things, Naruto. He is a veteran. Well, would you like to speak up? Well, he lost his father at a very young age. If I can remember, around the age of 6 to 10. I can't really put a number on it. Also, in this time, from 6 to 12, he had lost 2 of his most valuable teammates. Damn it, I can't even remember her last name. So rude of me. Sorry, Naruto. I think her name was Rin Nahara. Yes, that's it. From the powerful Nahara clan, known for their great art. And Obito Uchiha. How did these 2 die? Well, actually, Rin fell to his own hand. And Obito was crushed by a boulder. I see. The death of his father. Do you know if he had the Sharingan at this point? No. He had only acquired the Sharingan after the death of his or the death of his teammates. I see. What were you about to say? I was going to say pupil. I had watched them train with one another many times, and Kakashi was sort of like his sensei. But now that I think about it, they were much more like friends than master and student. Ah, I see. Makes sense, Lord Hokage. Well, thank you. If I develop a theory, or a new theory, I suppose, I'll let you know immediately. Thank you, Naruto. You are dismissed if you'd like. Or you can stay and have some tea with your favorite gramps of the village. I'll have tea with you just this once, Lord Hokage. Naruto and Hiruzen would have tea as they discussed many things. With that, Naruto would also hope for his, I guess you could call it, the regaining of his sanity, as they actually had to call in Lady Tsunade to heal Kakashi from this genjutsu, which truly made him a mental wreck, so to speak. With that being said, Naruto would get out of the hospital / infirmary, or whatever you really want to call it. Naruto would then walk around the Leaf Village for a little bit as he got hungry. This sensation of hunger had been with him for a very long time. Naruto always felt dissatisfied with the world, dissatisfied with his power, dissatisfied with his self-image, dissatisfied with his abilities, dissatisfied by really everything, but something that always seemed to satisfy him was Ichiraku's ramen. It always left this warm feeling in his stomach, as if he was being hugged by his mother or father, who he really doesn't know who they are. With that, Naruto would get some Ichiraku's ramen, as he thanked Tucci for the meal, bowing to him, as he then would eat. This is when we would see Naruto go ham on that ramen and eat it up, if that's what if that's how you want to say it. Anyway, with that being said, Naruto would leave the ramen shop. Naruto then thought about training, but he decided that his body's probably not in the best condition to train, and thus he walked home. He then woke up. As he looked in the mirror, his eyes, well, they looked angry. He wondered why. As he stepped outside, he looked around. The air was free. It was kind of just there, and Naruto felt as if he was on top of the world. With that, Naruto would then start to train. Now, Naruto basically continues to train, and life kind of just continues how it was for a good amount of time. Now, Naruto does remember that he needs to, become friends with Sasuke. So, what he does is he decides to get strong enough to where somebody like Sasuke may even look up to him. That's his goal. And to wait for Sasuke to graduate the academy. And thus, Naruto would train until he reached the age of 12/13, right? As everybody basically has graduated the academy already. Now, with that being also said, I suppose, Naruto is not... how would I explain this to you? The viewer, of course. Naruto's not necessarily a Chunin / level ninja. He's kind of reached a state where he is very, very, very powerful. And he's also a very quick learner due to, the fact that he's Minato's reincarnation, that kind of thing. So, he's very powerful. Not to mention the fact that he accessed the Namikaze clan's ability, not the one to reincarnate or pick your reincarnation, but the one that allows him to, in a way, see the future. Naruto is trying to kind of create his own form of this jutsu, shortening it to not looking in, say, years into the future, and instead looking minutes into the future, or seconds even into the future. And if he can do that, then he can basically... first, extend the longevity of this ability, and second, make it much more easy for him to use, much less chakra strain, and third, he can subsequently see the future and predict one's movements, akin to having the Sharingan in a way, but not actually having the Sharingan. Now, that was kind of Naruto's inspiration for this jutsu, as he's been reading up on the Uchiha clan and that kind of thing, basically ever since Itachi spoke to him and told him to become friends with Sasuke and all that stuff. And thus, Sasuke is now out of the academy. As soon as Sasuke left the academy, Naruto would stop what he was doing and start to trail him. He's basically just trying to see what Sasuke's been doing, that kind of thing. And he's waiting for Sasuke to get his first big mission, which is a C-rank mission, where he actually leaves the village. Luckily enough for Sasuke, he got a great Jonin sensei, Hatake Kakashi. Now, they were short on a genin, so they did get a genin, but it wasn't a genin that any of you know. This is where we will be putting in, I suppose, a new genin. His name is Smoker. Smoker, just as his name, I guess, implies, is... Well, he's not a man, but I suppose you could call him a man, but he's not, like, over the age of 18. He's only 13, so a year older than these guys, Sakura and Sasuke. Not a full year, but yeah. Anyway, so practically, this guy is the same age as everybody else. And he does actually have a Kekkei Genkai. Just as his name implies, it does have to do with, like, smoke. And basically, his Kekkei Genkai allows him to churn into smoke for a period of time. It's similar to a Logia from One Piece, if you know what that is. Basically, somebody won't be able to touch him. Yeah, for a period of time, though. It's not like a, like, basically, I guess you could say, long thing. It's like say 10 seconds, nobody can touch him. Or like 30 seconds, nobody can touch him, that kind of thing. And people do have ways of touching him, but it's something that I'm not going to get into right now, but we will get into later into the movie. Now, with that being said, Naruto watched as Smoker, Sakura, and Kakashi would pass the spell test. Smoker is a smart individual and would just realize that teamwork is needed to complete this, and so they would all work together. Sasuke, begrudgingly, as he's a little bit of an introvert, so to speak. Now, they would finally leave the village for the Land of Flames mission, as everything would go as it did in canon until their first meeting. This is going to be the first and final meeting that they have with Zabuza and Haku. Naruto, like I said, has been trailing them, so he already knows where they're going, what they're doing, and, well, right now, he knows that they're fighting Zabuza and Haku. Smoker was very helpful in this fight, as they would not actually be able to take down Haku and Zabuza. Kakashi has been caught in the water prison jutsu, so to speak, that water prison jutsu that Zabuza used. I can't really figure out the name right now, but yes, that's the jutsu that Kakashi's in right now. And Naruto, seeing this, would wait for Kakashi to pass out. As little eyes as possible can be on him as he, well, saves Team 7. Weirdly enough, Naruto's not on Team 7, so it's kind of weird. But anyway, Naruto had a mask just in case people were still, up when he came to save Team 7 from these threats. And thus, he would put on the mask, which made him look akin to an Anbu. Naruto continued the watch as he saw Sasuke, Smoker, and Sakura basically suffer. Heavy wounds, too. Now, at this point, Sasuke and Smoker, as well as Sakura, all three of them actually, are now in the ice mirrors. So it's kind of just like, Naruto's trying to figure out what to do. But Zabuza is out of those ice mirrors, and he's about to kill Kakashi. And thus, Naruto would quickly swoop in, cutting off Zabuza's arm, which was holding a sword, his right arm. Zabuza would burst out with a scream, or more of a battle cry of sorts, a "ah!" as Naruto would punch him in the face, slamming his face down into the ground and swooping under his feet, causing him to fall on his back. With that, Naruto would then grab Zabuza by the hair, swinging him in a 360 of sorts. This is when Naruto would get directly under Zabuza, kneeing him up into the air. He would then continue to knee him up into the air until he reached about 10 meters high. This is when Naruto would take both of his fingers, slamming Zabuza down into the ground and using a water-style water dragon jutsu on him. Zabuza now sat there defeated. Nobody had ever rushed up on Zabuza like that in his life. He was a Jonin and he thought that he'd be able to see it coming. Or rather, I guess, previous Jonin. But yeah, he had the skills of a Jonin and thought he would be able to see the Jonin coming, right? But he wasn't able to see it coming. Naruto was so quick, so fast, so powerful that it didn't mean anything and he was easily defeated. Anyhow, Naruto would quickly recover as he would step out of bed. His legs were a little shaky, but he would make it out of the room. Not before bowing to Kakashi for being at least a little bit helpful member of the team.
Oh, boys, proof that Didi-san was dating Simon? Question mark? Hold up.
Just broke up with Simon the other day, so that's cheating because we've been married for a bit and you just broke up with
At this point, Naruto has gone through much more than he had on the day that he met Toriko. Actually, he's evolved in more days than one. And with that being said, he also acquired a second sword. This sword was custom made by a blacksmith to be the same blade that was cut off. Basically, the blacksmith created a new hilt for a sword and implanted the half of blade that was sliced off by Toriko into the hilt, which was now Naruto's second sword. And basically how Naruto sees it is that he can just apply pressure slash chakra to the blade and create a longer sword if he wants. At this point, it's still close to the same size as Shisui's blade, if you know what that looks like, just to give you guys a rough estimate. So it's perfectly fine for Naruto to use in combat even without applying pressure slash chakra. And even so, Naruto's blade was already kind of long to begin with. That's the only reason why Toriko was able to slice it, because the person who made the sword did a little bit of a bad job on the length, so it made it a little bit weaker where the sword ended off at the end of the sword. Slash, you know, the spiky part, if that's what you want to call it. With that being said, Naruto and Kakashi Hatake would now begin the mission. Kakashi was in front as Naruto was behind. This would make it so that they would have kind of like a bird's eye view slash, like, you know, like they would not be snuck up on this mission, is basically what I'm trying to say. So with that, they would finally be able to figure out the location of Itachi Uchiha. There, they saw him walking with somebody. Naruto would grab his mouth, as they were somewhat close to Itachi and this man. Naruto would cough. He would then feel a coughing storm in his stomach starting to, you know, like, creep up, as he would jump away, continuing to cough more. Naruto would now finish his quote-unquote coughing storm, if that's what you want to call it. As he would jump back, Kakashi would ask if he's alright, as Naruto would say yeah. He would then stare intensely at the man that he was walking with, who Itachi was walking with, to be more exact, as he would grab his mouth once more. He would then gasp. Naruto would gasp, making sure that nobody could hear this quote-unquote gasp, except for Kakashi, of course, who was right beside him. Kakashi would then ask, "Are you sure nothing's wrong?" As Naruto would say, "That man, Naruto at this point has heard many things about Itachi Uchiha. So when he heard that the mission was going to be into, you know, like tracking Itachi Uchiha, figuring out what he was doing, maybe where he was ecstatic. Whilst Kakashi, somebody who knows just how strong Itachi is, and, you know, what happened all those years ago on the Uchiha Massacre night, would be a little scared. And was surprised that they would let Naruto, the Nine-Tailed Jinchuriki of all people, on a mission so potentially dangerous. I would like to see what you got. Fine then. Don't get scared and run to your mommy. Is that a kid talking about their mom? Huh? Do you even know how to... Whatever. Naruto's going to say, do you even know how to make a comeback to, you know, like, a statement? As clearly, Toriko does need a bit of grammar practice, as you have seen. Or at least needs to get his mind in the right place when speaking to people. With that being said, Naruto would rush towards Toriko, clashing blades with him. They would then jump, both of them would jump up into the air as they would clash blades yet again. Naruto would then spin, hitting Toriko's blade off of balance. Basically, he's made Toriko's blade go in a 45-degree angle, ish. Now, with that, it's not as if, like, he broke his hand or anything, but he just moved the position of his blade. With that, Naruto would take his left hand, as he was holding his blade with his right hand, and grab Toriko's arm, piercing his sword through Toriko's left shoulder. This would cause Toriko to quickly evade Naruto, and basically jump back. Even if you are a Genin, the Leaf's crazy. Why the hell do they have Genins who are on the level of Chunin and Jonin? I'll take that as a compliment. Naruto would then spin his blade. It was as if this kind of stuff was muscle memory for him. As he rushed towards Toriko once more, they would clash blades again. Naruto would then take his left hand, pushing chakra to it as much as he could, as he would slam it into Toriko, who, instead of actually being hit by this attack, would block with his own blade. Unfortunately for Toriko, this would not work. His blade would crack as thousands of pieces of iron would fly directly into his left eye. It was then that Toriko would drop his sword and grab his eye. Damn you! Again, doing this to me? I'm a mercenary. God damn it. He would then slam his fist into the ground, as at this point he was on his knees. What is your name, boy? My name? It's Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto Uzumaki, huh? I'll kill you. I swear. Toriko would then drop a smoke bomb as he would run away from Naruto. Naruto was perplexed. What just happened? What happened was Naruto had made his first enemy in the ninja world. Toriko Kamado. Skilled mercenary. Former member of the Hidden Mist Village. From this day on, Toriko swore to never lose a battle, and that he would train until he could beat Naruto. With that, Naruto would put his blade away, or I guess his now half a blade, if that makes sense, as he would grab the other part that fell off, or rather was cut off, and he would put it in his backpack, which he was carrying with him. With that, Naruto would continue on his way to the land of tea, getting the tea and returning home. It was there that he would help a traveling person who was very old and senile, so he decided to help them and show them directions to the Leaf Village, as they would actually walk together. With that, he learned that the old man was quite fast for his age, and with that, they would arrive back at the Leaf Village together. It had seemed that the man was actually, from the Leaf Village, and he was a former Jonin back in his prime, and that's why he was, so fast. Or so fast for his age, rather. With that, Naruto would report to the Hokage that his mission went as planned, and he would would be given one final order by Hiruzen to deliver the tea to Hatake Kakashi, or Kakashi Hatake, son of Sakamoto Hatake. With that, Naruto would do so, as he would also learn where Kakashi lives in this instance. He would then drop out the tea, as Kakashi would be stunned. It was as if he saw Minato in this boy. Naruto would then wipe his eyes, as he realized that it wasn't Minato. Nevertheless, he would grab the tea, as he would thank Naruto. But beforehand, he would ask, "What's your name?" As he would say, "Naruto Uzumaki." Kakashi would smirk under his mask. "Minato, your son. So this is him. I wish him the best luck in his ninja journey." Kakashi would then sit down on his couch, as he would have some nice, freshly brewed peppermint healing tea. With that, Naruto would return home, falling asleep, as he slept like a bear in hibernation. The next day, Naruto would wake up and would request another secret mission. Hiruzen asked if he was okay to take one, as Naruto said yes. And this is when Naruto would now only take secret missions. Whether they were outside of the village or inside of the village did not matter to Naruto. He would just only take secret missions. And on his downtime, sometimes he would take Deering missions. But for the most part, he only took secret missions. It was kind of what he was known for within the village. If somebody had a secret mission request or something of that sort, they would direct it to Naruto, of all people. And slowly but surely, the elders saw him as a candidate to become a Chunin. But the problem was, he didn't take the Chunin exams, so they didn't know where to put him. And thus, to basically see where he stacked up against other ninja in the villages, they would leave him at Genin. But Naruto would be notified that he had the skill far surpassing Chunin by Hiruzen himself, and that he was being held back to see how he stacked up against other possible Chunin candidates from other villages. With that being said, Naruto would get his first B-rank mission, but he had to attend it with a Jonin. Him and this Jonin would go on the mission, and this Jonin is a familiar face to Naruto, and vice versa. Can you guess who it is? Maybe, maybe not. If you said Kakashi Hatake, you are right. Kakashi would introduce himself to Naruto as Naruto would do the same, saying that he looks familiar. Naruto would then remember that this was the special Jonin, not special Jonin as in rank, but special Jonin as in, like, you know, a special person that he was entrusted to deliver tea to. And Kakashi would remember that that was Naruto. It wasn't as if he forgot. He 100% knew. As to Kakashi, Naruto is somebody very, very special and somebody who he needs to protect. But to Naruto, Kakashi's just another Jonin in the village that he's, I guess, helped out in some way or another. Their mission would be to track a rogue ninja from the village. His name was, or rather is, Itachi Uchiha. Like I just stated, Naruto is a Genin, so he does know the Shadow Clone Jutsu, though that's not what's required to be Genin. Specifically, from the academy, he learned the Clone Jutsu, so the illusionary Clone Jutsu, and a alright amount of chakra control for himself. Now, as I mentioned previously, he is Minato's reincarnation, that is the title of this video, so he's already started to manifest multiple forms of his chakra natures. For instance, he can now create a proper fireball jutsu. He has started training in wind style, though that's a little harder for him to grasp for some reason or another. And he's already gotten one water style jutsu. At this point, Naruto's well on his way to becoming stronger than he is in the canon timeline. With that being said, Naruto was a little greedy. There was something in him that just wanted to learn, and learn. This may very well have been the thing that turned Orochimaru evil, but for some reason, Naruto had a hunger for new jutsu, fighting strong opponents, but most of all, he loved protecting his friends. So, with that being said, Naruto wanted to make sure that none of his friends could ever be harmed. Ever. And thus, what would he do? He would steal the Scroll of Sealing. This is where Naruto would learn the multi-shadow clone jutsu, as well as multiple other jutsus that he would write down. But in that quick instance, the only jutsu that he learned was the multi-shadow clone jutsu. Under the jutsu, it stated multiple things that the jutsu can be used for. Of course, things like espionage, escapes, that kind of thing. But the most important thing that Naruto saw was speeding up training. It directly stated that with enough chakra, you can create enough clones to master things like, say, chakra natures in months, instead of how long it usually takes. For instance, years, because that's how long it usually takes. But even if you're adept at the chakra nature, you have a neat, I guess you could say, knack for it. It will take at least 6 months, from what Kakashi stated when Naruto was trying to learn wind style. And with Shadow Clones, Naruto condensed that in under a month, which is insane. So Naruto, now having this knowledge, would get stronger and stronger. Now, the missions that Naruto's going on is probably what you guys are wondering. Yes, he's doing D-rank missions inside of the village. So far, he has done 23 D-rank missions. This is actually a decent amount for his age and, someone like him. Basically, he's trying to just, get as much money as he can so he can buy things like kunai and train. Because most of his, money and, bills, that kind of thing, is paid by Hiruzen. So what he's basically focusing on is getting money to train. And basically, I don't know, get stronger. Now, 6 months have passed. In this time, Naruto has now mastered Fire Style, Water Style, and Wind Style. I already explained earlier that he mastered Fire Style for the most part, but now he's fully mastered Water Style, which he was already getting a grasp for, and fully mastered Wind Style, which he was working on before. With that, Naruto is well on his way to becoming a Chunin, and at this point, he's done about 40 D-rank missions. Why is he doing so many D-rank missions? This is probably what you're wondering. Well, he wants to show specifically the Hyuga clan that he is a good person, that he's not dangerous, so that he can finally be friends with Hinata. Even though they do already have a friendship relationship, he just wants to be able to see his friend, just hang out with her. Because he can hang out with all of his other friends, even though he's a Genin now, but he can't hang out with Hinata, because the only ways that he would see Hinata, who is his friend, would be in class. And so it's just a bit of a weird situation that Naruto's in. So, with that being said, all of these missions took place close or within the Hyuga area of the village. He would basically help elders in the village, specifically like older Hyuga members, maybe children who, say, lost a toy, that kind of thing. And these would be his missions for the most part. But with that being said, no worries, Naruto was getting stronger and stronger. And eventually, Naruto would be let out on a scenic mission. A part of the reason why he hadn't already taken on a scenic mission was due to the fact that he actually wasn't allowed by Hiruzen. Hiruzen, in his mind, saw Naruto as, like, too little to go out, and how, like, a mission might be too much for him. So, now that Naruto's completed 40 plus D-rank missions, he's basically shown that he's, able to do a secret mission. And thus, Hiruzen would allow him. Naruto's first secret mission. For this mission, Naruto packed 10 kunai, 15 shuriken, 3 smoke bombs, and a small meal that he could easily eat. Rice cakes, to be more exact. With that, this mission was solo. Naruto was alone. And at this point, Naruto had decided that he would also take a sword with him. Why not train beforehand with a sword? Well, Naruto said to himself that it'd be better if he, was in the moment. And it would also, like, speed up his training drastically with a sword, or his skill with a sword, if he was put into a life or death situation where he, couldn't do anything but use his sword. And thus, Naruto would encounter his first foe. Now, what are the details of this mission? So basically, the mission is to go to the land of tea and get a special kind of tea that can heal ailments. Ailments kind of go along with illnesses, that kind of thing. As a Jonin in the village, who we know as Kakashi Hatake, was suffering from severe headaches and diarrhea and constant pain in his chest. And it's said that this very tea in the land of tea can, heal someone of this sickness. Why not send a more experienced ninja to go get it quickly so that Kakashi can heal? Well, because they're testing Naruto, and Naruto's very important for the future of the village, so why not, get him on missions? So, with that, Naruto would go on this mission. Naruto would arrive in the land of tea, but beforehand, he had encountered someone. I explained this before. This person was a mercenary, and if we were to compare them in the ninja system, they would be at the level of a Chunin. Now, I already explained to you guys how Naruto has chakra natures, jutsu for these chakra natures, that kind of thing, and that he's a Genin. Most Genin do not have 3 chakra natures mastered in the skills that Naruto has. So, if we were to upskill Naruto a little, or, just place him properly in the ninja system without, any bias from Hiruzen, that kind of thing, or his age, he would be on the level of a Chunin / Special Jonin. Special Jonins aren't quite Chunin, as they're a little above it. and they usually have a specific skill that allows them to be a special Jonin. But that's like the ranking that we're going to give Naruto. Like right under Jonin, but not there. Not even close in a sense. For instance, a case of a special Jonin is Ebazu. Now, with that being said, Naruto would draw his sword. He drew it like he had seen most people draw it. And he had never actually seen somebody like draw a sword in real life. So he just saw it how he saw people draw swords in shonen manga, the manga that he read. And thus, he held his sword outwards towards his opponent. The mercenary would pull out his own blade, as he would say, "My name is Toriko." Toriko would then rush towards Naruto, as Naruto's blade would be sliced in half. Now, I don't know if you've seen the Seven Deadly Sins, but his blade would kind of look like that with a little bit more of a blade on it. So basically, his blade's been cut clean in half. Naruto would be stunned, as the mercenary would smirk. "I knew you were just a kid, but I didn't know that you had the reflexes of one too." Naruto was perplexed by what the mercenary meant, as the mercenary would explain. "Most genin, well, they can't even react to that, and thus, their head would be chopped off." Huh? It means, boy, that those instincts of yours, and therefore your reflexes, are fast enough to dodge my blade. If you weren't, your head would have been cut clean off. You're a leaf genin, I can tell by your headband. My only question is, what rank is your mission? It's a C rank. And how many D ranks have you completed? More than 40. Well, you should have done 80 became... The mercenary would pause. / I guess, Toriko. He didn't know what to say. He was going to say that he should have done 80, and then maybe he would have been able to fight him. But was that really enough? So rather, he would say, "I am going to kill you. And then maybe I can fetch a bounty." Fetch a bounty for a ninja who's not even known outside of the leaf? Well, yeah. They actually do allow you to get money off of those kinds of people. Actually, any ninja you could get at least 100 Ryo off of. So does that mean after you kill me, you're gonna disregard me like trash? Yes, it does. I see. Then I won't let your blade touch me ever again. I mentioned earlier how Naruto has good chakra control, which he somewhat mastered in the academy. Naruto's chakra would flow to his sword, as it would make up for the part that had been damaged. His chakra would also coat the part that was still remaining, as Naruto would walk towards his opponent. You're probably not a genin, are you? No, I am a genin. Well, is that your Kage Genkai? No. This is raw talent. Raw talent. Okay. Well, come at me with this quote-unquote raw talent. Sorry for that sudden background noise. That was my elder brother dropping me off some food because I was hungry as a beast. Anyways, with that being said, may past Rami, or rather present Rami, I suppose, continue. As for who are Naruto Uzumaki's friends, he has a few, in fact. Yamanaka, his only / second only girlfriend. Choji Akamichi. Shikamaru, Nara, Hinata, Hyuga, his second girlfriend, but the relationship that they have is a little weird. You see, whenever Naruto wants to, say, for instance, play with her, go on play dates, whatever you want to call them, right? Naruto is always shot down because when he goes to her house, he's told that he cannot come here and that she cannot play with a boy like him. but he doesn't know what that means. Of course, you, the viewer, if you still don't know what that means, it's due to the fact that Naruto's the Nine Tails within him, the Hyuga clan knows, and, you know, they see Naruto as a threat to the heir of the Hyuga clan, Hinata, so it's kind of just like that, I suppose. And Naruto has many other friends that I'm just not going to name here, but if you hear them come up, just know that they're Naruto's friends. If I didn't mention them here, and I mention them later, then they're most likely Naruto's friends. But people like Sasuke and Sakura are not Naruto's friends. And as for Sasuke, he doesn't even want to touch him. Anyhow. 4 more years pass. I mentioned earlier how when Namakazes choose reincarnations, they can get their skills, some of their appearance even, memories, knowledge, that kind of thing. Naruto's not getting any memories, but at this point he has already gotten the appearance factor, and the talent factor / skill factor. What do I mean by this? Naruto passed with flying colors, from the academy in only 2 years. Meaning that he did so well that he was already promoted to a genin by the age of 10. Now, this isn't on the level of someone like Kakashi, who was, well, already a chonin by this age, / chunin, but it is something, and for Naruto Uzumaki, this is a great achievement. Part of the reason why he wasn't, promoted to a genin earlier was due to the fact that he was a Nine Tails, and the elders in the village didn't want to, put him on missions too early. Naruto was now 8 years old, and he had many friends. What do I mean by this? Well, put simply, his charisma made him seem as less of a threat. Not to say that Naruto is inherently a threat to the Nine Tails, but his charisma did make him seem as if he was less of a threat. Also, as you can tell, he still does have the Nine Tails, and the events that unfolded in the canon will still happen in this current timeline. We begin this what if with Minato. Minato at this point is already an adult, as a few things are going to be different in this timeline. First of all, Minato is going to have the ability of kind of seeing in the future. What I mean by this is similar to premonitions in a way. So it's similar to when you can see a fortune, that kind of thing. Or quite literally, he can see big events that will happen into the future. And so one of these events would be his death. How exactly does he have this ability? It is due to the fact that he is a Namikaze and a member of the Namikaze clan, one of its purest members, in fact. So, the pure, the blood of the Namikaze, the stronger the ability to see / view the future. And thus, now we need another ability for the Namikaze clan, which is reincarnation. Now, they have a running myth / folktale / legend within the Namikaze clan itself that every single Namikaze knows which person they'll reincarnate into already because they can, see the future. And Minato would look into the future. And here he would see that he would have a son named Naruto Uzumaki. And at this point, he was already in a relationship with Kushina, so of course he already knew that that son would be with Kushina Uzumaki. But with that being said, he also needed somebody reliable to be his reincarnation. And, who's more reliable than your own blood son, am I right? But he also wanted to protect his child. You see, when members of the Namikaze clan reincarnate into other people, some of their skills, knowledge, and even features come into that person, boy or girl. And it's not subjected to one gender. For instance, a boy can, reincarnate into a female and, vice versa. So, with that being said, Minato Namikaze has chosen his next reincarnation, Uzumaki Naruto. Now, some of you may be asking what's going to happen with the whole Asura Indra thing. And, funny enough, it's going to be the same. Naruto is just going to have 2 reincarnations. It's kind of similar to, I don't know, how Naruto had a split personality in a way at the Waterfall of Truth. So basically, his reincarnations are split in half. Half, Asura, and half Minato. With Minato being the leader of that combo, if you want to call it, due to the fact that, he's Naruto's father and he's choosing Naruto. Yeah. So, with that being said, I think that wraps up all of the, intro, I guess, into the What If, and we can now fully begin the What If. Romeo's back with a video. I know it's been a while since I posted a video. I've been really sick. I don't want to get into too much detail about that. No, it's not COVID. I hope so. I hope not. But with that being said, we can begin the video. Now, right before we begin the video, I do want to thank 𝙎𝙈𝙊𝙃𝙃 Anime, whose link I will leave in the description, for the inspiration to make this What If. I am aware that there are multiple versions of this What If out there, so I'm going to try to diversify this one. No, I have not seen those ones, so if any of these, I guess, story points in this video seem a little similar to others, I do apologize, but it may happen just because they're the same What If. But if you know me, then you'll know every single What If I do comes from the heart, and that this will be a great video. So with that, we can begin. What if Naruto was Minato Namikaze's reincarnation?
It would be then that after arriving on the scene, that nobody was there. But it appeared to Naruto that something was off. In the distance, he would see the Hidden Leaf Village be destroyed. Almost all being blown to smithereens in just an instant. He shed a tear, but quickly wiped it. No. He said this all out loud. That can't be real. No way. No way. Naruto would then teleport to one of his kunai that were hidden within the Hidden Leaf Village, as he would appear beside it. Or he thought he did. He was in a completely different dimension. It was almost as if everything in the Hidden Leaf Village had been destroyed and sucked up into here. He was falling. Naruto looked up to see bodies upon bodies upon bodies falling with him. Gritting his teeth, there was nothing he could do. Everyone he saw was dead. And when they fell to the ground, their screams could no longer be heard. It was as if falling to the floor made them die completely. Naruto knew that even if his friends, even if his family, even if his loved ones were in that very dimension with him, and they were following with him, there was nothing he could do to save them. Absolutely nothing, but he still tried, teleporting to each and every single one of his kunai, even risking dying himself. And he couldn't find them, he couldn't see them. They were gone. He couldn't even sense their chakras. But he could sense a chakra. It was so dense and so powerful. Just as dense as, well, Shukaku, eight-tailed beast that Naruto had fought at one point in time. And so, what would Naruto do? He would realize that all was lost and reappear back at his old location, where he now continued to watch the destruction in the Leaf Village. Go on and on. Further and further, he began to crack his knuckles. Damn it. Who the hell did this? Naruto could still feel the presence, the pressure, the density of a chakra so great, so big. And so, he would rush towards it, going straight for it. He was now on flat ground, surrounded by nothing but smoke and fire. But he knew that in front of him was somebody. most likely the person responsible for all of this damage to the Hidden Leaf Village. And so he grit his teeth, and he yelled for the person to come out, no matter who they were, with long gray hair and a white robe. The person revealed themselves to be 𝘾𝙎𝙊𝙊𝙃𝙃. Naruto said nothing, did nothing. He couldn't move.
What's the matter? What's happening?
You can't move, Uzumaki Naruto. You are the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails, yes? Well, unfortunately for you, your village has been destroyed. Along with the other great nations, this was the last on my list. My plan is soon to be complete. After I've eliminated you, there will be no ninja powerful enough to stand against me. Oh, and might I add, once that does happen, since it will, unfortunately, I will have to harvest the god tree here. Oh. And, well, that kind of spells game over for your planet here. The problem is, I don't want to go through with harvesting a whole god tree. So instead, I'm just going to absorb the entire planet once I'm done with you. You see, ninja like you, they tend to be able to fight me in outer space. That's why I gotta kill you. Oh, and don't even think about teleporting to one of your many kunai, the space-time ninjutsu ones that allow you to go from place to place. I felt it. You were teleporting between them in my dimension. Sorry about your friends there. I'll do it now. Naruto said nothing, and although he couldn't move, the Nine Tails chakra began to seep out of his body. He was so enraged that if he wasn't being paralyzed right now, he would probably transform into the real Nine Tails based alone off of his anger. Naruto continued to say nothing as 𝘾𝙎𝙊𝙊𝙃𝙃 babbled and babbled. You see, unlike my 𝘾𝙎𝙊𝙃𝙃 counterparts, I don't need to harvest a god tree for power or for any chakra fruit. I can absorb the entire planet. I'm the son of the king of the 𝘾𝙎𝙊𝙃𝙃. The 𝘾𝙎𝙊𝙃𝙃 are a powerful clan. And I am the king. Or at least one day I will be. Once I've destroyed this planet and the next and the next and the next and... you get the point. Maybe 10 years from now, 100, if I'm lucky. Goodbye, Naruto. Ramiel would then hold out his hand to Naruto, absorbing the Nine Tails chakra. Almost all of it in an instant. He then put his hand down as it began to char. So that beast has a bite, eh? Charring my hand. You wish to leave a permanent mark on my body, so that I always remember the pain on my hand. Although it burns like hell, it's not enough to make me stop. Now come to me, Nine Tails. It would be here that Ramiel began to strip Naruto of the Nine Tails, pulling it right out. As once it was completely out and now absorbed. Naruto did nothing. He could do nothing. He was paralyzed. And so, he just sat there, dying due to the fact that the Nine Tails had been taken away from him. It would be here that he would meet the Sage of Six Paths. He would realize that all was lost. They both realized together. But the Sage of Six Paths decided to bet on Naruto. He decided to bet everything on Naruto, giving Naruto both the powers of Indra and Asura to complete the first full reincarnation of Hagoromo. Naruto, his body began to change. His skin became pale white and his hair white as well. He even grew a horn on the front of his head. The upper right corner, to be exact. And he grit his teeth as he looked at 𝙎𝙈𝙊𝙃𝙃𝙃, who was now relishing in the newfound power of the Nine Tails and what it granted him. This is more than all of the other tailed beasts combined. It's marvelous, wonderful, I tell you. Oh, can you hear me? Most of the Jinchuriki have died as soon as I extracted that beast, but you, I still hear your heartbeat. Oh, it's wonderful. But enough of that. Wait. 𝙎𝙈 could sense that something was wrong. That something had changed in Naruto. His presence, it was different than before. His energy, it was different than before. And so he stared down Naruto, whose body began to change before him. He resembled more of an Otsutsuki than a human now. And he broke free of the paralyzation that 𝙎𝙈 had him in. You see, old man Hagoromo's bet everything on me now. I can't lose. After a battle spanning 30 days with 𝙎𝙈, Naruto would be crowned the victor of the fight, falling to his knees and dying of exhaustion. Pure chakra exhaustion. Until he reappeared yet again in limbo, before the Sage of Six Paths now a second time. You failed? No, I was successful, but the chakra exhaustion killed me. Wow. That Otsutsuki truly would have been king. The power he possessed is like none other I've ever seen or felt. Me too. So what? I'm dead now, for real this time? Yeah, unfortunately. But, although you are dead, it can revive your body. Which means that you would have to take my former place. What? Just as I populated the human race further, you will have to do so. Just because all the nations have been destroyed doesn't mean that everyone on the earth is. You will have to rally those men and women together. The evil and good, you must rally it. You must rally them all under one flag. Make them your followers, Naruto. You will do what I once did. And once you have done that, you will repopulate this earth. Through the powers of Indra and Asura, you may find immortality. And if you do, promise me to never stop repopulating the earth, to never stop fighting for what's right, and to never stop recreating the old ideals of your world. Ninja ways, ninja villages. Heck, scratch that. You can do what no other Asura reincarnation could do. Create a world full of peace. You could unite everyone under one single banner. I know that you could do it. Naruto didn't know what to say. So using the power of Indra and Asura, I could bring back my friends, right? Well, not necessarily. Your friends are in 𝙎𝙈's dimension, which has now been destroyed. Cataclysmically. Which means that... Wait, I might just know a way. Really? You might know a way? Well, tell me then. Well, if you create a dimension strong enough, you can use Rene Rebirth within that time-space ninjutsu to revive your friends. And so Naruto would do as the Sage of Six Paths instructed, reviving all of his friends. And although he could not bring back the entire village, he could bring back the people that mattered to him. Selfish of him to do so or not. These included the Sasukes, the Hinatas, the Sakuras, the Kibas, the Inos, the Shinos, the old man from the ramen shop, Tucci, the Kakashis, everyone that Naruto cared for. Although, of course, he obviously cares for every single villager since, well, you know. But the people that really, really mattered. With that, Naruto would be at the forefront of creating a new world of peace, and he would be successful. Naruto would become the new Sage of Six Paths, protecting one village, one home, one place, one nation. The land hidden within Naruto. Naruto decided to come up with the name because one day he created a chakra barrier around the village to protect it in future from anything like Otsutsuki's trying to enter. And so he was curious enough to think, well, what if I named the village hidden within Naruto? And, well, no one opposed it. They thought it was a good idea, and although it was weird to name a village after yourself, maybe even a little egotistical to some, it was deserved. Naruto would fulfill his dream of becoming Hokage, and he would still have Boruto and Himawari with Hinata in the future, of course. Now, with that being said, I hope that you guys all enjoyed today's video. Make sure to hit the like and subscribe button, share the video to a friend who likes this, or just anime content in general. And with that being said, this has been 𝘎𝙈𝙊𝙃 and 𝘎𝙈𝙃